Hello and welcome to another stream on the Cryptoverse DAO. It's your boy Crypto Don in the building. We're gonna have a look at some technicals. We're gonna go straight into the charts. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe all our social medias. The support is very, very much appreciated. You are appreciated. Let's get it cracking. Okay, so today on BTC, we had a look at the open interest data. Okay, for those that don't know how to use open interest, leave some comments below, and we'll be happy to do some more videos in the future on how to use the open interest contracts and what they actually are. But the data was it was giving us information that today was going to be a sell to buy day for BTC, which basically means sell side manipulations, and then we'll get some buys, right? Sell side manipulation and some buys. So that's exactly what we got. Kicking in from the Asia session, last night, just after, the new monthly candle. When we got the new monthly candle, just before the open of the new monthly candle, we got this huge pump back up to these levels here, which we got some, institutional candles within these zones. And yeah, this is where we started to get the sells to buy, sells to buy. But we can see how heavy the sell side manipulation is. Okay, so usually when I do use the open interest data and we are saying sell to buy, the main moves are going to be the buy, right? But we can see how the sell side manipulation was a lot heavier than the buys. So what I tend to do is, if it's saying sell to buy and the move is a buy, I'll just be concentrating on the sells for that day, because we all know that the markets are almost 90% manipulated. So to stand a chance, it's better that you try and trade with that manipulation. You try and catch that manipulation move with the whales, and you try and catch those moves instead of the actual moves that the data's giving. Like, or if, for example, with the news as well, if the news is saying BTC is gonna buy, usually we'll see that it starts to sell. Okay, it's no surprise. So having a look at the news across the markets, today was the first of the month. Okay, the first of the month, new monthly candle been opened. We can see today there was a lot of low impact news here, these yellow folders. We had some high impact news here, and we had this high impact news at 3 o'clock. Okay, this ISM manufacturing PMI. Okay, so with BTC, sell side manipulation was heavy. So if we have a look at the higher time frames real quick, we're going to see something very, very interesting. Now, just to remind you guys, we did call the short from up in these regions, and yeah, no one expected us to reach down here, but this is where we are today. And we have to take advantage of these opportunities in the bear market before the bull run starts. Now, when that's going to happen, who knows, market will range, grab liquidity, and then yeah, mitigate these unmitigated discount prices before we create that new all-time high that everyone is so desperately looking for. So yeah, guys, we've come to this low here. If we mark this weekly low, now it's going to get really, really interesting, really, really interesting now with BTC. Okay, now for us day traders, we only want to really look what's happened within the last couple of weeks. I mean, you can extract data from the past here. We can see like this order block, this base candle right here. If we just mark this candle, you can see how we failed to break. We're failing to break this. We're retesting. At the moment, we're failing to break. Okay, this is a very key level for us. Potentially, we could get some pullbacks, and I'll explain why in a sec. But based on the structure and what I'm seeing down here, these imbalances, it's possible, it's very possible for Bitcoin to want to come and revisit these areas here, these prices, because of these gaps, because of these liquidities, these imbalances in the market. Where we've broken structure here, we haven't really come back to mitigate these areas here. We've got imbalances in here. This is on the weekly time frame. Okay, we've got imbalances here. We've got other unmitigated order blocks here. Okay, so these are all reasons why Bitcoin could drop below where we are now into these regions here. Okay, but what we do, we trade what we see. We trade what we see. Okay, because nobody truly knows where it's gonna go. We have to follow the price action. So where we currently are right now, we've got this range here that we're in on the weekly time frame now. We've got this weekly high and this weekly low. Okay, so what I'll tend to do is I'll tend to let's mark it up. Mark our weekly high and weekly low range. Then we'll scale down to the daily time frame. The daily low and the weekly low are the same. Okay, the daily high and the weekly high are not the same. We've got this pullback here, this little high here. So we'll mark that as well. This is very significant for us. We have this imbalance within this candle here. Okay, so if we mark this, if we pull our fib like that, what's the price done? The price has pulled back into the 70%, swept it and pushed. Now this push didn't come and take this liquidity. Didn't come and grab this liquidity yet. It's playing around. So what is the price really trying to do? The price is they're really trying to like confuse the masses, right? Nobody really when we start doing this, everyone's expecting it to come and take the low, but guess what? They will come and take the low when they're ready, not when we want. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the market will go through this phase of liquidating positions. People that are getting in, day traders that are getting in positions. This is them just ranging and liquidating, most of these traders that don't really know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So what I've done is I've pulled my fib within this wick just to see what kind of activity we're getting. We can see like, you know, this 70% area again, more liquidity being built here. Okay, so what the market tends to do when it's doing this, right, is we're expecting a pullback, isn't it? We're expecting a pullback, some type of pullback into premium zones where we can catch sells. Okay, we want to catch sells at the premium zones and we want to catch buys at the discount prices. So how do we identify these areas? How do we identify these areas, family? So this is the weekly high and this is the weekly low range. So 50% of the range, which is here, price will pull back close to it, push, sweep liquidities, and then push into 50%. We'll get some sales from here. Okay, but then price will probably keep pushing again. And if we mark here, we can see we've got this level here. Now, it's not just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Okay, when we mark 50% of the weekly high and lower range, and then we mark these levels, 50% of this level, what do we have? What do we have? We have significant areas here. What's this? This is, key levels again. Support and resistance. It's not a coincidence. Why is the price reacting here? Bang. Smash straight through. Why? What's all this? This is all accumulation, isn't it? This is all like this is them accumulating orders, enough orders for them to make their move. So we'll keep that as a point of interest as well. Remember, everything in trading is long term. Yeah, all on the higher time frames. So I'm expecting, a pullback eventually into these zones here before, we start to come back down, right? So let's have a look at the lower time frames and see what happened today on the intraday perspective. Have a look from, I'm in the UK, so the Asia session usually kicks in about 11 p.m. UK time, which is about right here. So as soon as we got the open, look what happened. Literally, bang, no remorse, no remorse. Now, how are you gonna catch a move like this? How would you really catch a move like this? It's very difficult if you don't know what you're looking at. Sweep, swept the low, shift the momentum. This was just an irregular pump. To catch something like this, you need to have the experience, to have a lot of experience. Bearing in mind that this zone here was this on the higher time frames, this was a very significant zone for us. This key level here that we did mark out before, this order block, isn't it? This was an order block. So when the price got into this area, we saw the reaction. The reaction was crazy. So if we're looking on the 15-minute now, when we pushed down into this area, we had this sweep, and then we had this huge pump. Price pushed back into the order block. This was the last sell before this buy that broke the structure. Broke these highs here. Broke these highs here. Now look how long it took. Look how long it took for them to pull back into this last sell candle before the break of structure and before this huge impulsive move. Took them, hours, just over 12 hours. Eventually pulling back, setting this liquidity here. Eventually pulling back into the order block, pushing up. Okay, now this price action is kind of telling me that we want to start coming back down here, fully mitigate this area, and get some more reactions. Okay, price is failing to break these highs again. You see the highs are getting lower, right? Highs are getting lower. Could the price action come in here? I'm expecting Bitcoin to come here again. We catch some more buys, short-term buys, before we keep plunging again. Before we keep plunging again, to come and take the weekly low, and then get that pull back to the 50% of the weekly range. The liquidity raids are not finished yet. They're just enticing buyers with that pump. That pump got everyone's eyes open. Everyone was ready. Like, yeah, Bitcoin. When they see a pump like that, automatically what comes into their heads? New all-time high. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep pumping. We're gonna keep pumping. No, it's just to trap you. It's just to trap the buyers. You know. When I saw this pump and I saw this pullback, I caught a buy here just based on impulse. That yeah, this type of momentum price will give me at least 5 to 10%. Just on this one candle. When I see a candle like this, I can buy at the top of this candle. I can buy at the top of this candle and take, 5 to 10%. Easy. Very easily. So guys, remember, yeah, this market is like this. You're on the lower time frames. It's like this. The higher time frames here is what we need to be looking at. But everyone's in here. Everyone's looking at the lower time frames and they get lost. They get lost. Okay, so we always have to have a higher time frame perspective of what's really going on in these markets. What's really, really going on. So me personally, I take all of these zones into consideration, right? But because I'm an intraday scalper, sometimes it's you know, I don't want to be sitting and waiting for hours. You can set alerts at specific price points, you can set order limits and buy limits, however you want to trade. But me personally, I just like to use specific strategies to find scalps in the markets, just to make my life easier, just to make my life a lot easier. And that's how trading should be. Trading should be something that's convenient, something that is simple, something that is not causing you stress and anxiety. It shouldn't be like that. It should just be something that, yeah, you can jump in and make money easy. They're making it difficult for us, so we have to find ways to make it easy for ourselves. Okay, so we can see the price action creating these lower highs. Price is pushing to the downside again after this huge pump that everyone thought, okay, people were looking for, people that use Fibonacci, they'll be looking for retracements at the 50%, 618 area. It's just violating these areas, violating it. We pushed all the way back to the 786, the lower institutional levels, the 886. This is exactly where the zone is. The zone is at the lower, deeper levels. It's not just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. So when the market does stuff like this, and I want to just take a little 5-10% profit, each trade, I'll switch to my little scalping strategy that I use. Okay, which we'll go into in a little while. So all I can really see right now with BTC is we're creating all of these liquidities, right? Trendline liquidities. Trendline liquidities. Now in a situation like this, okay, price is like it's starting to squeeze, isn't it? You've got this trend line here, got this trend line here. Price is starting to squeeze within these trend lines into eventually we're gonna get a break. We're gonna break out of this. Now what could happen is we could get we can get a wick to come and push, sweep these liquidities and maybe come back and retest and push down. Could push down like this, come to sweep all of these lows, come to retest the trend line and then push back down here. Get like an ABC correction wave. Or we can get, the opposite. We can get a fake out to the downside. Price wants to push up, and then, sometimes it will do that, and then the market will just start ranging again, and then get some erratic movements. So because all of these things can play out, okay, you just have to be patient and wait for the right opportunity. Now, what I tend to find with stuff like this, right, is that when you feel like, yeah, when the price gets here, we're gonna buy, or when we get there, we're gonna sell, and it doesn't happen, and you think, why is this? Why didn't it sell from here? It's because these markets are just manipulated. There's too much manipulation. So how can we stay consistent in these markets? That is the question. Low risk, high reward. Yeah, don't over leverage your accounts. Okay, have a trading plan, have a set strategy. Be disciplined, stick to your rules. Okay,
For God's sake, set a stop loss.
absolutely, of course. That's part of risk management. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that. Specific timings when the momentum kicks in. Look at that. Bang on 12 o'clock on the hour. What's this? Coming into 3. I'm feeling to just jump into a short right now. But we can see how all of these altcoins follow Bitcoin. Pretty much look the same. So today on gold gave us some nice little moves. A few pips on gold. I mainly trade gold. Caught some pips on Matic. And like I said, I'm a scalper, so what I'll tend to use is I'll use like little scalping indicators. I'll just take my, like I said, per trade, I just want 5 to 10% and I'm happy. If I can do that 3 or 4 times a day, it's fantastic. Got a whole list of pairs here you can trade. Most of these altcoins, right, do the same thing. They do the same thing. BTC from 7 o'clock we had this nice sell. This actually lined up here. Look, it gives the signal. Got the cross here. Push down to the downside. Volumes kicking in. Take your scalps. Take your scalps. So check this out. Let's have a look at gold real quick. I'm gonna give you a little gem before I go. Don't take up too much of your time. Check this out. The same thing that I was talking about, yeah. Let's jump on a replay mode quickly. Now, remember what I said about marking the weekly high and low range? I think I showed you that. I think I showed you guys this already. This is the weekly high, weekly low range. Boom. 50%. And this is going to be a prime example of like how these markets are. It's a long-term thing. You can't expect to come in this market and become a millionaire overnight unless it's just like a freak of nature type event. I've seen it before, but when you know what you're looking for and you understand that algorithm, okay, then you can take advantage of these opportunities. Price is still yet to come. What do we have in this area? Order blocks. %. What do we have here? 50%. So if you've got the patience, to actually wait for these moves, then you're good. You're good. 50%, 50%. These are all institutional levels. As soon as we touch that 50%, bang. Nice pips. And what happened? Came for that low. So I actually sent this trade. Not that particular trade, but I sent this trade on our Cryptoverse Signals channel. We took this live. We had a live session this morning. Join me live in the lounge starting in 10 minutes. On the live session, we managed to catch this sell for gold. Caught the momentum nicely. Gave the parameters. TP1, TP2, TP3. Targeting the weekly low. Targeting the weekly low. Yeah, look. TP1, close partials. TP2, TP3. And they all got smashed. They all got smashed because we understand where the liquidity is. Weekly highs and lows are major liquidities. You've got minor liquidities, major liquidities, and medium liquidities, right? So if you understand these things, then you know where they want to push the price to. But look at the price action. From when we came here, look how many times we rejected, bang, bang, bang. You know, we pushed down, we pushed back up, and then all of a sudden, bang. They do all of this to confuse you. So when you understand the markets and you have your target areas, just hold your trade. Have your your stop loss at break even. Ride your trades with confidence. This was actually a really nice catch. And how I call this was just understanding the weekly high and low and just using this. Indicators. Mark the weekly high, mark the weekly low, check the direction, the structure on the higher time frames. Understanding that price is gonna want to come and take the weekly low because of the price action. We were closer to the weekly low range. Price smashed it and left. As soon as it took the weekly low range, bang, pushed straight back up into these zones here. So what's next for gold? What's next for gold? Gold's gonna want to push up, push back up. Gonna get some type of reaction here. Price is gonna want to push up. Gonna get a reaction here. Get some more sells here. Price is gonna keep pushing up. Reaction here, all the way to here. Okay, very significant levels here. This, and then from here, you better believe I'm gonna be coming all the way back down to come and sweep this. Okay, plus we've got this nice juicy order block here as well. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So yeah, I don't have the patience to wait for all of this. I just want to catch scalps during the day because your analysis could be wrong. There's always a chance that you made a mistake, didn't spot something, or we're still learning, isn't it? We're still students. You can't learn everything. It takes a long time to become a professional trader, and most professional traders, they're not really using this stuff. They're not really using Fibonacci's, and they're looking at volume footprints and other stuff because they've got huge accounts. They don't mind going into like 30k drawdown before the price pushes back up. But as an intraday trader, you want to be taking your 5 to 10% a day and just keep perfecting your skill. So that's about it, guys. Has anyone got any questions? We close up. This is what they like to do. They like to fake everyone out. Faking out, faking out. Then the momentum kicks in. When the momentum kicks in, that's where you want to jump in the trade. Price is creating higher highs and higher lows. This looks like a slow correction. Slow correction. Came back into this order block here. Look how many times we came into this order block. This base candle. this wick. Pure manipulation. Pure manipulation. Okay, when you have when you're working with small accounts, you know, this is why they say risk 1% per trade. Risk 1% per trade, have a decent stop loss, and give your trade space to breathe. People will be looking for, for sells here. That this order block. That's how when the price pushed into the first time, we got this rejection here. All the smart money traders that were looking for sells here, they all got taken out because they'll have their parameters like this. They'll set their entry here, or like they'll have their orders, their limit orders here. They'll usually have this stop loss just above the wick of this candle. So when their orders get activated, get a slight reaction, and then bam, they take everyone out, and then they'll push the price. Anyone else that decided to catch more sells, they're not ready. They're not ready to push the price yet because there's too many orders here. People are selling. They'll just keep pushing the price. Hit their stop loss, hit their stop loss, hit their stop loss, push. Oh, there's still more stop losses. They're not ready to push the price in the direction where we think it's going to go, which is down here. Price is still bearish. This little short-term pump was just to entice buyers in the market. BTC is not finished selling yet. This ain't for the faint-hearted, guys. This takes a lot of work and dedication. But for me, this is why we put together these little scalping strategies. It's to make it easier. Make it easier for the family, Catch your pips for the day and done. Catch your pips for the day and done. When you start coming into the range and market, okay, it tells you here. Look at the moving averages they're all compressed compared to like here. We start to get wide. Start to compress, and then boom, we start to get wide, catch a pullback. So yeah, guys, that's about it from me. That's my time. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And yeah, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to social medias, guys.